So where is Wale? Somebody check on Wale for me, okay? What up, y'all? It is Raptors Recommendation. It is a segment of my channel where my producer, Sand Raptor, recommends an album that I review and check out. No matter how old it is or new it is or whatever, we're just going to check it out in today's time, how it is listening to it today. This week, we are doing 2017's Goldlink At What Cost. Let's get it.
No tennis, the back and forth, the gift curse. Between lines, read minds from bad worse. Take a look around, yeah, we all made it. From the underground, now that y'all paved it. You don't want no problems, best behave it. Walking past your house, now we all wave it.
All right, so starting off this album it starts off with opening credits, another weird intro, same as my last review. Opening credits is very annoying, very nonsensical. I don't know what the concept is. I don't know why it's there. There are frequencies that are just piercing my ear again. And I just got to say, what is the point? If the concept isn't there, what am I listening to? Maybe I'm missing the concept. Somebody please explain to me the concept. So it's definitely a no for me in terms of the intro, which is not a good sign for an album. How you start an album is everything. And this wasn't the way to start it, in my opinion. But I like how it flows directly into track 2, which is the same close as yesterday. Definitely one of the standout tracks on here I can appreciate. I love how Goldlink kind of talks about his religion, but he isn't like a Christian rapper or anything like that. This definitely has a lot of vibes on this track right here. This track 2 is a good way to start the album, but the intro ruined it for me. And then you go into the next 2 tracks, which I also, again, aren't hidden from me. We have this kind of 80s retro, have you seen that girl or something like that, which is like more like almost there. Like the production is awesome, retro kind of fire, but the execution isn't there. And then we have another one that's like Hands on Your Knees or something, which is like your kind of cookout kind of party track, but like the background crowd noises and weird overproduction on here definitely don't hit, and it's something that I'm skipping again. So that's the first 4 tracks on this album that I am only listening to one of them, and that's track number 2. That's not a good start, y'all. Not a good start at all. There's some definitely crazy features on here, from Wale to Maya, who's one of my old crushes from back in the day. We got K Tronada, and then we have Steve Lacy, Radiant Children, just a lot of features on here, and all of them are pretty fire. One of the names was really funny. It was Hair Squad, which is like square head, but like a different switch around of the first letter of the word. So I definitely like that name. I don't know who that is or where he's from, but I like that name, Hair Squad. So my favorite songs on here are Summertime, Kokomo Freestyle, Same Clothes as Yesterday, and Roll Call featuring Maya. These are my favorite songs on here. I definitely recommend checking them out. Roll Call is like your dance anthem. Kokomo Freestyle is just Goldlink going in and spitting. Same Clothes as Yesterday is like the vibey track on there that I really love. And Summertime as well with Wale. I love Wale in terms of an artist a lot of time. Think he's underrated. Think he doesn't get as much appreciation as he deserves. Where is Wale? Somebody check on Wale for me, okay? So the worst songs on here are actually We Will Never Die, kind of a trap, quote-unquote anthem, which is kind of generic in my opinion. Have You Seen That Girl, which is unfortunate because it could have been a really fire track, but I feel like the execution of this retro kind of 80s sound just wasn't there. The Parable of Rich Man, which I thought was generic, and those are my 3 worst ones. And I just want to say that Crew, which is a standout single track on here, I definitely didn't really appreciate that much. I thought it was okay when I heard it years ago in 2017. I thought it's okay now, and that's probably why I never listened to this album, because the single didn't really grab me and make me want to listen to this album. So it is what it is. I'm glad I'm listening to it now, because there's a lot of great standout tracks on here. And this goes to show a single means everything when you're advertising, but this definitely did hit for him, and this album was pretty successful for him, so props to him. The pros on here is production is good in terms of beats. The highs are really high in terms of sound in the songs on here. Very original, very different. I love that about it, that this is like him, and good or bad or ugly. This is who he is. So, and the cons are just too many skips, way too many skips, in fact. Convoluted, busy, overdone production, not really cohesive in my opinion. Some people are saying this is a cohesive album. I don't really see it. I think this is a little bit everywhere in terms of things that are going on sound wise, and not a good flow to the album, which is probably why, you know, when we have like that third track being Have You Seen That Girl, and it's like kind of retro 80s, and then you go immediately into Hands on Your Knees, which is like the dancey kind of barbecue cookout song, and that comes from, you know, just a lot of crazy kind of left field sounds on here. It doesn't really flow as much. If you would kind of take out those ones, I feel like it'd be a way better album, in my opinion, which is why I got to give this a 6 out of 10. You know, I thought it was going to be higher actually, but it's got to be a 6 out of 10 because of all the skips. The highs are really high, which is why it's not a 5 for me. So, and it could have been an 8 or 9. So, I mean, I was really finding it hard to rate this album, and I really like the standout tracks on here. But overall, I have to judge it as an album listening to it today in 2025. Let me know what y'all think about this review, man. This took me a while because I got a lot going on in my upstairs room where I normally record my videos, and got a lot going on in my life. So I'm trying to get these reviews out. There is going to be an independent review coming soon. Stay tuned for that. Appreciate y'all. One love. Peace.